Hello, this is an unboxing of the Panasonic HC-VX870 camcorder, almost but not quite their top-of-the-range model for 2015 in the consumer camcorder space. There is one more model above this called the WX970. It has, however, only, as far as I'm aware, one feature that this doesn't, and yet it costs about £200 more, which I think is quite a lot for that step up. But I'll discuss that more once I get actually into the box. The key thing about the 870 and 970 is that they are 4K capable camcorders, not, as some people have thought, capable of shooting 4K at 50p, but they do 4K at 25p, or of course if you're buying the US versions of these, 30p. And they're not capable of doing 60p. I think I'm right in saying that at the time of filming this, the cheapest camcorder you can get that will actually shoot 4K at 50p or 60p, as I say, in the US is another Panasonic called the, I think it's the X1000. Don't quote me on that. And it costs about £2,500 here in the UK. So you're not going to get 50p, 60p in a consumer camcorder at the moment. Sony's equivalent of this, their AX33, AXP33, again the version we get here in Europe, that also only shoots 4K at 25 frames a second, 30 in the States. Right, enough jabbering, let's open the box, see what we get inside. This costs about £699 here in the UK, and that makes it £300 cheaper than the Sony model, which retails at around £1,000. And in fact, at the time of filming this, I don't think it's actually released here in the UK yet. In the next couple of days, it should be out. So the first thing in the box then is this little lens hood. Doesn't look like it's actually got a lens cap or anything built into it. It is purely a hood. Little dial there, which must be to lock it onto the front of the camcorder. It says unlock and lock there. And as I recall, the last Panasonic camcorder I had an electronic lens cap that just closed itself down over the lens when you powered the camcorder on and off. Well, normally at this point I'd get into the accessories, but it looks like the next thing actually is the camcorder itself. So I'll just push that box out the way for a second. And let's open up. Here it is. Complete with all sorts of dangly bits telling you about how great it is. And sticky labels which really need to come off. Let's just get rid of those. Oh, that's well stuck on. Don't like that. In fact, I'm going to put that to one side for a second. Let's do the miscellaneous accessories. We've got here the basic operating instructions and the warranty leaflet, all that kind of stuff. What else do we get? Some cables. That is, come on, silly shit, getting it stuck everywhere. That is a full-size HDMI, clearly to a, now is that micro or mini S HDMI? I can never remember. A small one anyway. It's an HDMI cable. That is USB, isn't it? USB, presumably for taking files off the camcorder. That's a UK power supply. Oh, wait a minute, USB, there we go, USB for charging. Well, well, well. And possibly for taking files off the camcorder. So that obviously plugs in there, that goes in your socket, that goes in your camcorder. Fair enough, very straightforward. And this is... all right, I take it all back. This must be the power cable that plugs into the USB charger that charges the thing up. One way or the other, we'll get there. There appear to be sufficient cables and power plugs to be able to power the thing. So that's a relief. A battery, very small, probably need a bigger one. Possibly an aftermarket one. I'm sure Panasonic will charge a lot of money. What is this? A VW VBT190. So it's not the same style as was on the previous Panasonic HC-VX970. Looks like yet another battery style. This really is tiny actually, isn't it? What's the capacity on this? My tired old eyes have a lot of trouble reading this kind of tiny font, but it's a 3.6 volt, 1.94 amp hour battery. That's 7 watt hours, it says. And then the final bit in the box is, yet again, Panasonic have this funny little way of providing you with a a separate add-on cold shoe. They did this on the HC-VX970 where it sort of slotted onto the side of the camcorder. This one apparently slots into the back of the camcorder, but hey, it's a cold shoe. Let's not moan about it. However it fits in, it's good to have the option to be able to put accessories on the camcorder. So let's put that back there and get rid of those accessories. And let's bring the camcorder back in. Now, how do I take this off? I'm going to need scissors for this, aren't I? I don't suppose that'll... There we go. Get rid of that. So, as we can see, it's quite compact, actually. I would say it's about the same size from memory as the HC-VX970. I sold my 920 quite a while ago, but I would say it's about the same size. It's very lightweight, I must say. I wouldn't want to drop this. I'm not sure how solid it is. It's certainly pretty plasticky, so I think you'd have to treat it with some degree of care. Obviously, screen here, which, does that rotate? Of course it does. One would jolly well hope it rotates. And presumably one could put it back that way. Yep. That'll be a touch screen. On the top here, that's a 5.1 channel microphone, which claims it's got a windshield and some zoom microphone capability. I'm always a bit suspicious of that because it's not really zooming, is it? It's doing it electronically. There's your zoom toggle. Very small. You have to have very delicate little fingers to operate these things. That's a photo button for taking stills. On the back here you can see the hole into which this shoe adapter will go. I presume it just pushes in, does it? Yep, clicks into place. And then rather bizarrely you have the shoe sitting on the back. But again, it's good to have one. How do I get that off? Ah, button here. Shoe adapter release. Push that. Presumably push and hold and pull that out. There we go. Right, while I'm in here, while we're looking, let's just zoom in a tad, I think. So what have we got? That is a USB connection. That's HDMI for monitoring what you're doing. AV, presumably, now it's not for headphones because I noticed a headphones port on the other side, so that'll be a video out, presumably some sort of composite video out. It's got a microphone port, as you can see here. Battery release there. That's an on-off button. Wi-Fi, but these are very small little buttons. I'm not sure you'd actually know you'd press that, blimey. You really have to get your nail in to press that. That doesn't feel like it will actually press with my finger. My fingers are too fat and podgy. I think you'd have to push that with a nail or something, which is slightly irritating. That's a level shot button. The camcorder has the ability, because it's got so many pixels, to automatically correct for any slightly uneven shots where the horizon is a bit wobbly. You can activate that function with that button. And that looks like it's a playback or record button, toggling it between the playback or record mode. What have we got on the back? Just the battery compartment. On the bottom here, that's actually where the SD card goes. So if you've got a tripod plate that's a sizable tripod plate, as I have, it's going to cover the SD card slot. That's going to be very annoying every time you want to put a new card in. So just buy a jolly big card and put that in and hope for the best, perhaps. Tripod mounting hole, obviously. There is the little headphone socket. I don't know why they persist in putting these things on the front, given that the headphones are going to be worn by somebody behind. They should really be on the back. But at least we've got a headphone socket again. Strap just to hold it with. That is the DC in, so that proves, after all my waffling, that that is the cable that we'll use to power and charge the camcorder using that USB connector there. And then on the front, some sort of infrared beam there. Not actually sure if that's for see in the dark. I haven't read the manual for this yet. I'm not sure if that's a night shot mode or for... No, there's no remote control supplied with this, is there? So it could be some part of the focus mechanism. That... Is that an LED? That looks like that's an LED. Possibly for... Yeah, possibly for built-in flash for photos, possibly for illumination when filming. I'm not entirely sure. This truly is new to me. I've just received it earlier today. I haven't had it out of the box or anything, so I'm looking at it for the first time as I'm showing it to you. There's the lens cap that will presumably automatically move itself out the way. And then you'll notice that where the HC-VX970 had a lens ring on the front that you could control focus or zoom or the iris, this does not. And instead you're relegated simply to this little dial on the side, which is actually very little. It moves smoothly enough, but it is a very little dial. Does that actually do anything when you push that? Not sure. You push the dial in to sort of activate it. I believe that if you push in, it suddenly turns it onto manual mode, and then you can choose what manual thing you want to change, like the iris or the focus or whatever, and then you select it, and then you turn it again to change it. So a little bit fiddly, but you know, nice to have the option of a manual control. It's got Panasonic's hybrid OIS, the optical image stabilization, which was very good again on the previous camcorder, so I expect it'll be good on this as well. And no buttons on the side. If you had bought the WX970 version, this area has a separate second camera in it with which you can film yourself while you're filming something. I just don't get that, because it always appears as a little picture-in-picture. You're not simultaneously recording the full-size streams of that one and the main one. You've just got this second one as a little picture-in-picture, which just seems like a peculiar thing in my book, but you know, perhaps somebody wants to do that. Let me know in the comments on the video, would you use this second camera pointing back at yourself as a picture-in-picture? I don't know why you'd want to do that. So there you go. Not a lot more to say about it at the moment, other than, as I've already commented, quite lightweight, feels a little bit flimsy, comes with enough accessories. I always like a genuine remote control, you know, real handheld one rather than Wi-Fi. This does have the Wi-Fi, but I like a real old-fashioned remote with buttons on it that you can push. Never mind, that seems to be a thing of the past now. I'll go out, I'll do some tests, of course. I'll put some raw 4K footage straight up onto the channel so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll do some edited stuff as well and come back with some more tests. I'll test the sound, we'll do a look through the menus, all that kind of stuff in videos to come. So, a little bit rambling as usual, largely because I haven't really looked at the camcorder until now, but I hope this was of interest and useful. If it was, please do click that like button, share the video, you know, click the share button, send it to your friends and family, something like that. And if you're not already a subscriber to the channel and want to see more about the Panasonic camcorder, then do click subscribe. It is free, and it means that YouTube should tell you anytime I upload a new video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.